Welcome back to the channel, gang. In today's video, we'll look at some creepy and interesting TikToks that'll make you question everything. Let's get it.
There are certain foods that I eat that I have to cut in small pieces, and pretty much I just swallow them whole, just like a snake does.
No, I'm sure you're still with the nutrients.
Yeah. So it's taken some time to get used to it, a different way of eating. So, you know, there are different things that change in my life because of my transformation, and eating is one of them. The hearing is another part. Everything is much louder to me now.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, yeah. Like, and whenever fires, like sirens and things go by, I just want to cover my ears and say, make it stop, make it stop.
There's a lot of sirens in this.
Yeah, there is.
So there's this company that was funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They released 50,000 genetically modified mosquitoes. For what purpose? I don't know. But now, for the first time in 20 years, malaria has entered Florida.
Hey, malaria!
Like, the conspiracy is the new mosquitoes that he introduced were supposed to kill mosquitoes that carried malaria. And so they were specifically designed to combat those diseases.
But we haven't had a
mosquitoes.
case of malaria in the U.S. in over 20 years. And since they released these mosquitoes, so far from what I know, there's been 5 cases of malaria. 4 in Florida and 1 in Texas.
A swing and a miss, Bill. A swing and a miss.
Stop messing with the bugs and stop doing all this stuff!
Quit going after the Titanic. Quit touching the mosquitoes. Leave everyone alone.
If Bill Gates' objective was to create mosquitoes to fight the ones with malaria, then evidently that mission failed, so he might as well make a U-turn back to the tech world.
Tell y'all a true story. Be so boom, watch this video to the end. Something is going on in St. George. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Let's go.
Just what in the book of Enoch is this thing?
What is that?
I'm on the island of St. George Island and rode by and saw this Baphomet-looking thing.
It's not a game.
And if you read the sign behind him, it tells you that there are 3 of these on St. George Island.
3 of them? Come on.
They want you to take a selfie with this thing. I'm not going to do that.
Me either.
And it tells you that he's guarding you from hurricanes.
What?
And not me. I'm going to trust in the one true God, Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth.
Facts.
And I just renounce and rebuke this thing in Jesus' name.
What the hell is that? Did you see that? They said that it's guarding us from hurricanes. Then they said there's 3 of them on that island. Shut up! You know what time is it, guys? That ain't guarding us from nothing. Just playing around, guys. That's what they said. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't know why that statue's there, but it's all good because it's been there, and there's 3 of them. Shut up! It's not a game on here, guys. That reminds me of a gargoyle. Remember? Shut up! Or that could be a FA. What if at nighttime? Don't you say it. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game on here, guys. You know what time is it? That statue looks pretty cool. They said to take a selfie next to it. Why is that? Shut up! Why? So you can let everybody know you was at St. George and you had such a wonderful vacation. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game on here, guys. You know what time is it? But I tell you one thing. If I ever go to St. George and I see that same statue and they telling me to take a selfie next to it, I'm good, bro. I'm just going to take a selfie with my girl.
As crazy as it sounds, I'd rather have a Cat 5 hurricane come my way any day than take a selfie with the devil's cousin.
If you smoke bud, you need to hear this. They're saying that small traces of fentanyl has been found in marijuana in 10 different states. And we all know the effects of fentanyl, and we know what the smallest amount of fentanyl could do. So my advice to you is, if you are using marijuana, if you are smoking bud, you need to find out what's going on with it. And they're saying that this fentanyl that has been detected in it has been sprayed on it. So what I'm saying to you is, again, there are ways that you can find out if your marijuana has fentanyl in it. I do not smoke marijuana. I do not smoke marijuana. Let me say that again. I do not smoke marijuana. But if you smoke, and if you choose to smoke, you need to know what's going on. Be mindful where you're getting your bud from. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I knew that when they started putting all these places, these pop-up weed shops and things of that nature, it was going to be some shit like this. And not to say that they're targeting people, but listen, they can be targeting people. And they know if you have a vice, an addiction, that you will follow your addiction by any means. And I'm not calling anybody an addict, but what I'm saying is just pay attention to what you put in your body. So do that research. Look up and see which states have these issues so you could be safe as possible. Pay attention.
Cars driving down the fucking pier. Holy shit. Oh my god. What is gonna happen? Oh my god, they're shocked. Sydney, come on, come on. Come on, go baby, go.
Well, that car chase was short-lived.
There's some pyramid-like structures or hills in China as well.
Hundreds and hundreds of them. They haven't excavated a single one. Not one. And the famous tomb of the first emperor is also a pyramid. It has also not been excavated. The terracotta army around it has been found.
The terracotta army is amazing.
Army was buried around its edges. That within the pyramid is a lake of mercury. There are mechanical devices in there which will fire arrows at you if you go in. There's a whole story about how intensely protected it is, and up to this day it's not been excavated.
That's so crazy. How could someone leave that alone?
What if I told you the pyramids were just the rooftops, and what lies beneath is the real secret? No, the real mystery is why they're suddenly telling us this. They're claiming a vast underground city exists beneath the pyramids, stretching kilometers under the Giza plateau. But here's the thing, nothing reaches the mainstream unless it's been greenlit. So ask yourself, why now? Because here's what they don't teach you. Advanced civilizations existed way before us. And I don't mean bow and arrows. I'm talking high-tech infrastructure, energy grids, and precision engineering. They've spent decades making sure that kind of info stays buried. Why? Because it breaks the illusion. Now, right when people are waking up, this discovery gets dropped. And remember how recently they were all in on UFOs and so-called alien sightings. It all ties together, building toward the next big reveal, that ancient humans had help from something they'll call ancient visitors, that beings from the stars came down and handed us knowledge we couldn't have had on our own. But if you've been paying attention, you already know that's just the latest version of an old narrative. These so-called visitors, they've been described in every ancient culture, just under different names. Some called them spirits, others jinn, some fallen angels. Today, they're called greys, ETs, aliens. It's just the modern take on their deceptive branding. There was even a well-known occultist who made contact with one, called it Lamb. Looks just like your classic alien. And yeah, the place that contact happened, right inside the Great Pyramid. Coincidence? Probably not. Because this isn't just about history, it's about access. Access to knowledge we were never meant to have. Or at least not yet, so don't buy the shiny packaging. This isn't about aliens, it's about influence, control, and the long game. Because what's buried under the pyramids might not just rewrite history, it might expose the setup that's been waiting for you from the very beginning. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
Okay, what I'm going to share with you guys is what we know to be real and true. And when I tell you this, I urge you to not restrict your thinking to technology. We've been collecting UAP data for more than 5 years with electromechanical signaling. We call this our dog whistle. What the technology is classified. Generally speaking, we see 3 to 5 different classifications of UAP per day during operations. To make sense of our data, we had to develop a lexicon, and we base it off of flight characteristics. Again, there are 9 different flights or classes, and some of these UAPs may be the same type of UAP under different flight configurations. But at this point, given their behavior, we are confident that they do not align with your typical extraterrestrial explanation. Again, each UAP has different characteristics. Some tumble, some spin, some flicker, some just look like a living being flying in the sky. UAPs are extremely hard to image. What is seen with the naked eye generally is not what is seen under camera, and we do not know why. Class 1 is the tetra. It usually spins, it tumbles, it looks like a black body. Sometimes it flickers multiple times per second. It appears to have a cloud or vapor around it. We've seen class 1s in formations up to 20 to 23 in a flock or formation. Classification 2 is known as a tic-tac, but I feel like I should go through classifications 2 through 9 in another video, so there will be a part 2.
Us regular folks may think it's fascinating to see a UFO in the sky, but like regular pilots or the ones in the military may see those to the point where they get numb to it. It's all fun and games now until that robot gives you an order and you don't take heed. Then it releases all the Jackie Chan combos. Whatever this is, it was determined to get noticed with that kind of speed.
Same people are those who run the world today, and let's name them. The Pessoas, the Rothschilds, the Astors, the Bundys, the Collins, the DuPonts, the Freemans, the Kennedys, the Lees, the Onassis, the Reynolds, the Rockefellers, and the Russells. They are all descendants from those who fell from heaven. They are the descendants of the Nephilim. This is why every single freaking time a UFO, giant, alien, demon gets a glimpse of exposure, someone ends up missing or dead, and information is scrubbed from the internet. But I'm not afraid to speak about it like your 501(c) pastor is.
With this being having a lantern head, a human is bound to get noticed from a mile away.
There are other groups like this Nordic group. There is an African-looking group. There is a Polynesian-looking group. I think we're going to find very few of these extraterrestrials are Caucasian or blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like a lot of people depict. Many, many, many of our cosmic cousins from the local 52 star cluster are people of color. And when we get to a point to our cosmic cousins actually visiting and integrating with us, we are going to be forced to deal with some of our petty, racist.
Yeah, McDonald's, count your days. My baby was just eating this chicken nugget and she chewing on something hard. She thought it was her teeth. She spit it out. What is this? Why does this look like the temporary material that we use to make temporary crowns and stuff? What is this in y'all chicken nuggets, McDonald's? Can you tell me what this is? That almost broke my fucking baby tooth. What is this? I hate that I'm even touching this, but literally, look at this. Can anybody tell me what this is that was found in this chicken nugget? It's hard. What is this? Gristle? What? Today was the last day we will ever eat McDonald's again.
This McDonald's surprise is nothing like the old school Cracker Jack box.
It was wild that I didn't know how close my own wife was to the Clintons.
That you were married to her?
And well, I was married to her.
How close was she to the Clintons?
I mean, cell phone away, like, or hey, tell Ye to say this away, or hey, go out and use your platform to push the vaccination away.
or these extraterrestrial beings. You know, they have them in American underground military bases.
They have the beings.
They have the beings.
What? So
they've interviewed the beings. I've talked to people who were there when they were interviewing the beings.
Where are the beings?
That particular one was at S4.
In Area 51.
Outside of Area 51, about 11 miles away.
I would totally distrust that, but I have some good friends who are very trustworthy. So they're a couple, and the husband broke the world record for the biggest wave ever surfed in Nazaré, Portugal. His name's Garrett McNamara, and her name's Nicole, and they're very good people, and they would never lie.
Yeah.
And they have a friend who worked at Area 51, or might be a friend of a friend, but they met him, and he was totally traumatized. And after having worked there,
yes.
And he said that he was led down into a basement,
that's right.
And he saw reptilian creatures, and they were speaking English.
Well, they're telepathic. They're telepathic. And they talk French to French people. They talk German to German.
Right.
But they're telepathic.
But isn't that weird? That's strange, though, right?
Strange, yes. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
So, but then, like, if they're that advanced, they're telepathic. They can fly, faster than light. Then how the hell do we corral them into underground bases against their will, or are they happy to be kept?
Well, one of the ones that I was talking to the guy who was there when they were interviewing one of them, and it was clear that it was voluntary, that the extraterrestrial being was voluntarily talking with them, was having telepathic communications, so he was being interviewed.
The more research I do on these cryptid stories, the more identical they are. Like, these are people who haven't talked to each other, different places in the South. It's always the same thing. So again, we have two hunters who are out and they're camping and they're getting ready to go into the woods the next day. But these are avid woodsmen. They know what different animals sound like. And so they're sitting at the fire the night before. And as they're winding down, they begin to hear against the brush, but what sounds like drumming. It's like boom, pause, and then like rustling. And it's enough to be like, something's like with force hitting something. And so the theory they came up with whispering at the fire is that there's a buck that's like scraping or like maybe hitting its head on the stump. Well, eventually they start to, get up. They're not using flashlights yet, and they're looking for wherever the sound's coming from. And before they see anything, like every other story, they smell something. They're like, there's this smell, just it's like swamp and rotting flesh. And only they used the descriptor. There was like copper, kind of like a blood-like copper-like smell.
Like sucking pennies.
Dude. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Might have had the Rona. They put a flashlight up and immediately, again, glowing eyes, tall humanoid creature, long arms to the ground. And they freeze in fear. And there's what they describe as this lengthy period of time where they're like, who's moving first? Like, we don't know what to do. And the thing like postures up, like clearly, like we see each other, postures up to run in on him. Dude pulls his gun, fires a shot, hits it, and it lets out, this is like the break in silence. There's the gun and then just the loudest roar they've ever heard. The guy in the back who didn't shoot yells, "Run." The guy starts scrambling back, and after getting hit, it doesn't stop. It keeps running at him, literally grabs a hold of the dude. The other dude gets in the truck, manages to break away, jumps on the back, and they get in the truck, and the proof that they have is the tailgate of this truck has claw marks through the back of it, but instead of just being like punched, it looks like tinfoil that's been peeled back.
Oh my gosh.
But this thing with glowing red eyes and the brake lights chased them for a quarter mile before giving up the pursuit. Quarter mile, this thing's roaring and running them down a hill. They've never gone back to the woods. This was in 1987. They've never been back.
I mean, that's like the Mothman of just like it chasing them for miles,
They go further to describe what sounds like. They called it, hold on, where is it? Well, they called it a devil, but they ended up, they think in that region of South Carolina, there's like legends of a lizard man, and it fits exactly with other stories where people have reported similar things. It's terrifying, dude.
Dude, cave systems in the mountains. I guarantee that's where they're all coming from, man.
But why is it always the same smell? Like before they get eyes on something, they're like, we're already in the woods, but what smells like rotten death?
I mean, it's what
they're eating, right?
Eating, or they could be coming from underground.
A sulfuric, you
Yeah.
know.
So this is a 14 by 50 big boy. It's got an escape tunnel there. That is the generator room and the battery room. And it's got a long tunnel that leads up to a staircase to the house. And they're going to knock the wall out right there. They're going to put a Murphy door right there with a secret passage. So when you go in the closet, you'll have a staircase and a hatch right there, which leads you down to the bunker. And when they build the other house, we're going to run a staircase the other way to tie it to the other house.
Based on the direction the world is heading, we may need one of those as a backup.
This, who needs to buy a house anymore? This capsule house won't cost you $150,000, not even $100,000, not even $50,000, fully made in our factory, with all the furniture and appliances included, shipped worldwide, plus you can customize both the exterior and interior layout.
That would make for a perfect man cave in my backyard.
ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the young minds of the next generation without them even knowing it?
If I were the devil, I wouldn't come with violence. I'd come with convenience. I'd give them everything they wanted and strip them of everything they needed. I'd make them feel connected, but completely alone, endlessly entertained, but quietly empty. I'd blur the lines between truth and opinion until nothing meant anything. I'd teach them to chase dopamine, not purpose, to worship self, but loathe who they are. I wouldn't destroy them with war. I'd destroy them with apathy. I'd keep them distracted, numb, scrolling, always scrolling. I'd dismantle the family by redefining it. Make fathers optional, mothers exhausted, and children confused. I'd hand them a phone before they could speak in full sentences. And I'd watch their minds rot slowly, sweetly, silently.
That AI monologue was probably relayed from the devil himself.
This wolf species is the world's first successfully de-extincted animal, according to Colossal Biosciences. Scientists brought 3 dire wolf pups to life using DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and 72,000-year-old skull, according to Ben Lamb, Colossal's co-founder and CEO. The company says they used ancient DNA, cloning, and gene editing technologies to alter the genes of a gray wolf, the closest living relative to a direwolf, to create the trio. The result is essentially a hybrid species. And if you're a Game of Thrones fan, the direwolf was the inspiration for the canine featured in the HBO series, which was also a top North American predator. The pups are in an undisclosed location where they're monitored by security personnel, drones, and live camera feeds. Colossal has also been working toward resurrecting the mammoth, dodo, and Tasmanian tiger since 2021.
This has got to be the craziest coincidence in all of history. Imagine going to a doctor's appointment about an upcoming surgery you have, and this doctor is a specialist that you've never met before, nor have you even been to his clinic yet. When you walk in for the first time, the staff all react like they know you. Not just that, they're all talking to you like you were just there and came back for some reason. You, confused, ask them, what's going on? How does everyone know me? The receptionist tells you your name is so-and-so, isn't it? Telling you your exact first and last name. Everyone there insists you were just here and go on to confirm your job and the surgery you're getting screened for, which is all true, but you didn't tell them any of this information yet. This all happened to a man named Brady Fiegel in 2015, and it's even weirder than what I just described. As you can see, he's a very distinct looking man, 6'4", ginger, red bushy beard, wears glasses, and he's a professional baseball pitcher. He was going to the doctor to undergo a very rare procedure called Tommy John surgery on his pitching arm. The reason he and the staff of the surgeon's clinic were so confused is because they just spoke to a Brady Fiegel that looked exactly like him just moments before he came, who's also 6'4", has identical facial features, is a professional minor league baseball pitcher, and was also there to get Tommy John surgery. These were two Bradys that have never met before and weren't even aware the other existed. So naturally, they took a DNA test and found out they were long-lost siblings who were separated at birth. Right? Well, they did do the test 4 years later in 2019 on a TV show called Inside Edition and found out they were actually not related at all. Like, not even super distant cousins or anything. Nothing. There is no logical explanation to this. These guys just have the most uncanny doppelganger of each other, which they met in the most bizarre way possible. Same uncommon name spelt the same way. Same appearance. Same job. Same height. Got the same arm injury at the same time. Getting it treated at the same doctor's office on the same day. This has got to be the mother of all coincidences.
To have all the similarities is definitely uncanny, but the icing on the cake would be for them to have matching birthdays. But that's it for the video. Thanks for coming through, and if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit the like button and sub up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.